On to another inquiry now, and that's the one investigating impropriety at the Public Investment Corporation, which will hear more evidence this week. The Commission last week hearing how 3 executives, including former CEO Dan Matjila, were reported to the Hawks. And for more on this and what we can expect this week, let's go live to Heidi Jokos, who is in Centurion for us. Heidi, good morning to you. So Dan Matjila, among those, or among 4 people reported to the Hawks. What's this about?
Exactly. So we do understand that 3 executives from the PIC have been reported to the Hawks, including former CEO Dan Matjila. And this has all got to do with the transaction about SA home loans. So Khulufelo Maponya approached the PIC for funding to buy a stake into SA home loans. But when he did this, he asked for what he calls a transaction origination fee. So he basically wants the PIC to pay him basically for participating in this specific transaction. But Standard Bank, who owns 50% of SA home loans, challenged this and said that they will not be paying this transaction origination fee because they seem to think it's irregular. However, Maponya insisting that he wants this money, and this of course has now been reported to the Hawks. Maponya had indicated that it had been authorized by Dan Matjila and 2 other executives within the PIC, and this of course not sitting well with SA Home Loans and Standard Bank, who, as I mentioned, owns 50% of that company. And they decided that the matter is so serious that they will rather report it to the Hawks and ask the Hawks to probe into this specific matter. But what's interesting is that Khulufelo Maponya is not backing down. He wants this origination fee. Initially, he wanted 45 million rand, and then it moved over to 96 million rand. So it's a lot of money that he's asking for, and he's asking for this money because he says he participated in the deal, but the argument here is the fact that the PIC funded him to buy that stake into SA home loans. So why should he be getting this transaction origination fee that he's so asking for?
So Heidi, any chance that we might be hearing from Khulufelo Maponya this week?
We're not sure about this week, but we did get word that he has applied to come and testify at the Commission of Inquiry. I also read last week that he actually wants to cross-examine Standard Bank. Last week we had Ian Sinton, who is the senior counsel for Standard Bank, basically representing Standard Bank and SA Home Loans, and he wants to cross-examine Ian Sinton because he's saying that he wants his transaction origination fee. So we will definitely see him in the hot seat at the Commission of Inquiry. Whether it will be this week or not, we're not entirely sure, but we did get word that he will testify.
Just briefly then, what's happening today?
So today seems to be a very big day. The JSE is set to come and testify, and that's, of course, I suspect it's related to the AO Technology Solutions deal. One must remember that the CFO a couple of weeks ago, Nahid Kamaldeen, had testified here saying that basically she was asked to cook the books and to alter the interim results of AO Technology for the year 2018. Of course, that did not sit well with the JSE, and they issued a statement to say that they are investigating those results. So they are set to testify today, as well as Chris Polwane, who is said to be he is actually the head of HR at the PIC. One must also remember that there's a lot of instability happening within the PIC. Many have been suspended and victimized for testifying at this inquiry. So perhaps the Commission will probe on certain matters related to staff within the PIC that want to testify and that have testified and have faced certain consequences thereof.
All right. Thank you very much, Heidi Jokos.